But yeah, let's talk about Mars versus Pluto when it comes to Scorpio.
Okay.
So I've heard different arguments for this. So I can talk about mine. So my personal view on it is if I have someone who has a lot of Scorpio planets in their chart, I tend to look at both because I think both are valid.
Hmm.
But the argument that I've heard for Mars instead of Pluto as a ruling planet is that Mars has more motion and therefore people can see more going on, whereas Pluto doesn't have as much. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, when I think of rulership, I think a planet is at home in a sign. So Mars is at home in Scorpio, Pluto is at home in Scorpio. And I think you can make the case that they're both at home in Scorpio. Mars is a red planet full of iron, and Scorpio is kind of like a blood red and black sign. And so it's kind of red in red. And so then it basically is it makes the same color in the aura hue that like Mars might make, or I mean, it's compatible with that, right? So,
Yeah,
but then Pluto is also at home in Scorpio because that has an intensity factor that Scorpio also has, and
yeah.
you know, and the focus factor, and so I think we could say that the Pluto and Scorpio generation is very Plutonian and very Scorpionic, and because it's like an accent, you know. So yeah, I think you can make the I would make the case that they both kind of are at home there.
Okay. Because I would too, but I like I said, I do occasionally hear people who get very particular, as we can in astrology, about certain things. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Get very much like, oh, it's this and not that. And
Hmm.
I would rather be open to both possibilities and use both together than eschew one and embrace the other one too
Hmm.
much. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm making any sense or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both interesting to look at. I mean, a lot of what we're looking at is like, what is the case that I think from a medical perspective, Mars and Scorpio causes a lot of martial issues, and I think in that way, it's very at home there. It really produces what Mars promises. You know what I mean? And so it's like, does Pluto and Scorpio produce what Pluto promises? That's how the ancients would look at like rulership is what does Pluto promise? I mean, intensity, obsession, transformation. I think Scorpio promises all of those things. So, you know, yeah. I mean, so what do you think? What do you make of the Mars going through Scorpio right now? Or do you have any thoughts on that transit?
From my life, what I've seen personally, it's already been very intense. I
Hmm.
feel like as soon as that transit occurred, as soon as Mars changed signs, I felt like everything got kicked up a notch.
Yeah, well, and it squared Pluto and Aquarius, for a few weeks there, so that was really
Yeah.
intense,
Hmm.
you know.
And I know for me personally, I've got Mars in Aquarius, so I'm gonna get the square, but it's 24 Aquarius. So I'm gonna get the square, but I don't have it yet, but I will get it.
Hmm. Yeah.
I haven't got
Yeah.
it yet.
I think it's interesting when Mars goes through Scorpio, it goes over all the Scorpion's planets, to use a personal example, my bandmate Nina, she has a Sun Pluto conjunction in Scorpio, and I can talk about this. I think she'd be okay with that. But like Sun Pluto conjunction in early Scorpio, and it's on my Mercury Uranus conjunction, and Mars is going over our
Mm.
Scorpio aspects. And so we got into kind of like a little bit of our first power struggle little situation because we're both powerful Scorpios. And it was really interesting to watch just the power, the equal power in both people in both charts, and how it was basically, I don't know, it's just cool that the Scorpions are kind of alive right now and doing their Scorpion thing, which is to kind of be powerful and martial in some ways.
Mm. Well, it's especially interesting for me too because I've got Pluto trine Pluto right now because my
Oh,
Pluto is at 0 Libra.
yeah, yeah, interesting.
So, and I've got Pluto squaring my sun at 1 Scorp. So,
So did
yeah,
that Pluto Mars went over your sun?
yeah.
Interesting.
Yep, it sure did.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think Mars and Scorpio, people always say Mars and Libra is weak, but I find people that get highly negotiative with Mars going through Libra. So there was a lot of like kind of negotiation energy. But then when Mars goes into Scorpio, it just gets more pushy and kind of um military in some ways.
Yeah.
Um like I'm done negotiating and now I'm just gonna like get my like army in place, whatever that looks like. I don't know.
hmm A little more militant about, okay, these are the things I want, and I'm trying to be polite, but like
Yeah.
I'm getting to the end of it kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, totally interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think I mean what do what do you think about Mars and Scorpio people in general, like who have it in the natal chart?
So I know I have a very, very close friend who has Mars and Scorpio in the natal chart.
Hmm.
And and she is a very intense person, but it doesn't really show. Like she's a Scorpio sun also, like in
Hmm.
addition.
Hmm.
But only in certain areas of her life does it come out. And you really have to get to know her. It's got that the way I like to think of it is she's got that Mars and Scorpio subtlety. It's like you don't immediately see how motivated she is. Like she
Hmm.
keeps all that under wraps, but like you motivate her the right way and wow, like you can see it. And it's interesting because she's part of a in her industry. She's actually extremely well known locally here in Virginia.
Hmm.
Again, you wouldn't know it. She's not the type of person to tell you, but
Hmm.
like, tells you about the things that she's done and the conferences she's been to and presented at. You kind of go, okay, you're a power player, but she doesn't show her hand.
Yeah, interesting, interesting. Yeah, I do think of Mars and Scorpios as power players. Like they definitely push forward and they fixate on things because it's like it's fixed water. So it's like they fixate on certain topics. Like one of my favorite Mars and Scorpios is this tattoo artist named Lily Liu, and she is covered in black tattoos from head to toe. And but she has that Mars and Scorpio sextile Sun Venus conjunction in Capricorn. So like she has the impetus to be like all intense and then it comes out on the skin, like beautifying the skin basically. But there's a perseverant interest in tattooing. Like I've heard her talk about her obsession with it and like the fixation on it and things like that. So I feel like there can be like a one track, focus with that Mars and Scorpio that is I guess is formidable in pushing forward on a certain goal. I mean, or a certain interest.
Yeah. Well, in addition, this particular person I'm talking about also has a grand trine in water. And
Mm,
so that manifests itself as I don't need any emotional help as well, which is really interesting.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I guess they are so powerful so maybe not need a lot of well, I mean, do you think of them as alphas?
Her, no. Not generally.
Oh,
No,
interesting.
no. But again, in a certain context, in a certain limited context, yeah. But
Mhm.
generally, no. I wouldn't think of her as an alpha.
What do you think about Pluto and Scorpio? That generation that was they were like the social justice warriors. I had a lot of them in my class when I taught at the Portland School of Astrology, and they also have all that stuff in Capricorn. So they were fighting the man and fighting capitalism, and they would bring their knives to class. That's literal. I'd be like, thanks for bringing your knife to class. Like,
Exactly. I think that was a very intense generation. I really, really do. I think Pluto and Scorpio came honestly at the perfect time for them. I think they needed to be exactly who they are, to
yeah,
be
I'm gonna
honest.
have to like edit out half of this episode. No, I'm just kidding. Like every time you bring up Scorpio, I'm like, now I gotta edit. No. It brings Scorpio is such a kind of dirgy, intense sign, It's like it brings up the kind of darker side of life, like being tattooed head to toe is like kind of dark.
For some, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
You're very bright, Scorpio.
I try to be.
Yeah. Well, is there anything you should think I should edit out of this episode?
No, I leave that to your good judgment, my dear. You're the producer.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm getting old though. I'm getting old.
Oh, come on now. Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, it's really great to have you. You know, we always love having you on the show. So if you want to come back, hit me up and we can get you on the schedule. I like face jamming with you and I like making videos. It's a good mix, you know.
Yeah, I definitely want to get on. I definitely am gonna have some time. October's terrible, but early April, early November's good.
So, okay, so tell us how people can get a hold of you if they want a tarot reading
Oh
or
yeah.
astrologer.
You can always go to astrotarajon.com is where anybody can find me on all of my social medias at astrotarajon, all of them. So I have a YouTube, I have a TikTok, and I've got an Instagram. I have a Facebook too. You can find me on all of those. I currently have a video series right now on how to piss off a person by astrological sign, which has been pretty popular. And I'm going to be starting one on the moon coming up in the not too distant future. Also, I am having my whole studio here in the office redone with lights and everything. So I'm going to start doing daily tarot draws in the not too distant future as well. So you'll be seeing a lot more of me online.
Nice. We love seeing you online. I feel like you're just getting started and that you're going to become one of the bigger, well-known tarot astrology, you know, bridges. Like you're really an expert in both of those, which we rarely see such a high level expert in both. So,
Well, I'm hoping so. You to me are the ultimate rock star. So if I can get if I can get any of your positive influence off of in my channel, I will absolutely do that. But yeah, early November, if you have some time, let's look at our calendars and see what we can do.
all right, let's get on it. So I will text you tomorrow.
All right, my dear.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.